Hello guys, welcome to my channel. This is the 26th tutorial in this course, and in this tutorial we are going to continue our discussion on constants. We're going to check out the second and the only other method for declaring, defining constants and using them in C programs. So as you can see, I've saved a file in my code blocks IDE. It's called constants underscore part2.c. On line 1, I have declared, I've put in the header file. On line 2, I've declared the main function. In 3 and 4, I've got the curly braces. So if you've watched the previous tutorial, then you would know that when you use the hash defined preprocessor directive to declare constants and give them values, you do that outside your main function. But the other method, or the method that we're going to check out now, in this method you declare your constants and you give them values within the main function. So that's going to happen within the curly braces, right? So the way you do that is by typing the keyword const, right? And then you type in the data type of your constant. So this is again something different, because we've seen that in the other method you don't have to specify the data type. You just type in the name of your constant and you give it a value, and see what the compiler would automatically select an appropriate data type for your constant. So if suppose I want to create an integer constant, then I would type in int and then the name of my constant. So I'll in this program I'm going to create a constant that's called side, and that constant is going to hold a value, and then I would assume that the constant holds the side for a square, and then I would compute the area for the square by multiplying the side with itself, right? So obviously if you want to calculate the area of a square, then it's side square. So now you have to put in the assignment operator, and again this is different because with the previous method you don't have to use the equal to symbol or the assignment operator. You just give a space and then give your value for the constant, but in this method you have to put in the equal to symbol as well. So I'll give the value 10 to the constant side, and I'll have to put a semicolon to terminate this statement because it's an executable statement. And on the next line I'm going to declare a variable, and I'll call it area, and the variable is going to hold the value for the area of the square. And of course the calculation would have to be side times side with a semicolon to terminate this statement. On the next line I'm going to use printf to display the value of area on screen. So the area of the square with side percentage d, because the constant is of integer type, is another colon percentage d square units, right? And after the second double quotation mark I'll have to type in side first, and then I'll type in the variable, that name of the variable that holds the value of the area, semicolon to terminate the statement. When I click on build and run, we would see that the area of the square with side 10 is 100 square units. So the calculation was performed correctly, and that's what you would expect from C. So anyway, a few more things about constants. You must have noticed that in this tutorial, as well as in the previous one when I first mentioned constants to you, I wrote the constant in capital letters. Now this is not a rule in C. It's not mandatory that you have to type in your constant names using capital case letters only, but it's a good programming practice, and in certain programming languages it's a rule that you have to type in your constant names using capital letters only. And the advantage that this offers you is that it becomes easy for you to distinguish what items are constants and what are variables. So for instance in this program you've got area, and that's a variable, and you've got side, that's a constant. So if someone who doesn't know that side is a constant, if your program is long and it's complex and it's got like 1500 lines of code, then at a later part of the program, if someone's just viewing a function, then it would be easy for the person to know that okay, side is a constant because it's in capital case, and area is a variable because it's in lowercase. So again, it's not a rule, and C is case sensitive. So even if I would have this in small case letters, the program would work just as well. So but it's a good practice, so you should try to inculcate it. The other thing is that if I would suppose try to change the value of the constant here. So if I would give it a value 12 here and save the file and run it again, then you would see that I get this red square box on line 6, and that's the compiler's way of telling me that there's an error on this line. If I press F2 and check the log, then you would see that in the error section, I have this error that on line 6, assignment of read-only variable site. So, since site is a constant, it's a read-only variable. Constants are also called read-only variables. We cannot give it value twice. So you've given it a value 10 once, and you have to use that value. And if you have to make a change to the value, then you have to do it on line 4, where the constant was originally declared. So anyway, that was enough about constants, and in the next tutorial we are going to check out something interesting again. So stay tuned for updates, and if you have any doubts, then you can put your messages in the comment section below, and I will try to entertain as many as I can. And thank you so much for watching this one, and subscribe to my channel in case you haven't already, and I'll see you soon. Bye.